Hey Poopsies, this is an extra special reading for you. First time I'm doing a pick a flower, pick a tarot, pick a candle reading. Thumbs up if you want me to do next time. Flower, tarot, candle, and coffee reading. I can do an ultra deluxe hour-long reading. Alright, if you'd like to book your own candle wax, tarot reading, or coffee cup reading, you can go on my website, tonybomboni.com. I even offer Reiki healing and custom ASMR content for you to book. Make sure you tap that red subscribe button down below. Lets me know you appreciate my work. And that's that. Let's begin. Let's start with pile 1, the yellow flower pile. I just freshly picked this. It's wildflowers. So if this draws you in, pick one. You can pick 1, 2, or all 3 piles. Whatever intuitively draws and connects you in. Pile 2 is the tarot pile with my labradorite stone. And pile 3, the baby blue beeswax candle with a glass bowl. Whatever you want to pick, you pick. I'll let you pause or give yourself some time to intuitively pick what draws you in. And these are just going to be messages for you for this pick a flower, tarot, and candle wax reading ASMR session. So let's begin with pile 1, the flower pile. So if you picked pile 1, the flower pile, I did not throw it in a jar or container of glass this time. I just want to grab it and throw it on the desk. We're going to see what the message is for you. If you picked pile 1, this is the message for you. So I'm going to read the flowers and see what we need to see and know and say and see. Okay? Some of you are going a bit too far in your past, a little scattered in your past. I gotta say, there's no reason to go out there. You're just causing yourself pain. So sometimes when you try to reach out to a past person that's no longer in your life, this can cause you trouble. Oh, and I guess what I see, a crawling spider. Oh, or bug of some sort. I don't know why that decided to just show up. But yes, there's an actual live one here. So fear not. Oh, there it is. I'm not even sure what that is. That's not even like, oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, okay, well. I'm trying to get it to like leave so I can just not be distracted because I'm not trying to get bit today. Here, here's what I'll do. Come here, little fella. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, well, now it's gone. All right, so sorry about that. You can barely see it, so it doesn't matter. All right, there you go. Sorry about that, poopsies. I don't want that to disrupt your session. I'll take care of that later. So, like I was saying, I think that was a sign in itself, honestly, that there was some protection for you, because usually spider energy is protection. And my eyes immediately drew there. Like, it was so small, how could I have seen it, you know? I think you're being watched over. That was certainly an omen for that. And I guess in a sense it wants to say you're being protected from these thoughts of your past. So maybe God's protecting you from these past people. So maybe you tried to reach out to them and connect, and they haven't connected back, or they never saw your message. Does that ever happen to you? Like, they just don't see your message. It's like you're in different universes, in different worlds. And that's when you know it's not meant to be. You should cut contact with this person, because it can grow into some tricky territory for you if you do not pay attention to your intuition. So I think this person almost led you down a downward spiral with them. They think they're positive influence on people's lives, but really they're not, because they're not a positive influence to themselves. So I feel like maybe they don't take care of themselves. They don't take care of their body, you know. So be careful around these energies. They're not necessarily bad people, which is why you're so confused. But they're bad to themselves. Anyone that's bad to themselves in their own physical vessel cannot provide you what you're looking for, because they have to provide for themselves first. It's not that they're not ever able to. They have to take care of themselves first. So there's a difference. And maybe they're not around some of this positive energy because if they were, they would have taken better care of themselves. So, and their health and well-being. So maybe they're around a lot of like negative energy or just influences overall. Maybe they're around friends that are like a toxic group of friends. Not like, so when you hang out with someone, let's say, who's doing something a lot that you don't want to do, eventually it's going to rub off on you. Doesn't matter how positive you are. So be mindful of who you surround yourself with. I think I saw these gaps in the last flower herb petal reading that I posted. There's always a gap. Now, this doesn't necessarily quite have to indicate month, but were it to be a month, my best guess, September, October. My best guess. So maybe that's when you particularly feel more left out, more lonely. Maybe some of you abandoned from friendship groups because you're like, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to be around this. If you're doing this a lot and I don't want to do this a lot, I'm not going to be around you because you're going to influence me in a negative way. So this almost kind of also looks like the continent of Europe. So I would say maybe some of you were spending some time there this summer as well, mostly in the central or eastern part. And I feel like you've been there before. Maybe you're just stuck there all summer if that's where you live and reside. There's something with no strings attached here. It's like you don't want strings attached, but they still get attached. So be mindful. I might even use this candle as a pointer. Lord have mercy. Be mindful of that energy. Someone's going to stick out to you sexually, but also romantically. So it's a double whammy. When you get those two combined, it's very hard to detach. It's very hard to release yourself. So try not to open your quote-unquote flower petals for just anyone this summer, because you might get so romantical you regret your decision later when you realize you don't really love them. It's just more physical, non-romantical attraction. It's like you met them for one night and literally you had drinks, and then it's like, you see what I'm saying? It's always the drink, or it's always the smoke, or like it's always that. And then you later regret it 15 months later when you have a baby and you say, I don't love them. So be mindful. Maybe you do need that downtime, September, October, to figure this out, because this is not... This will work if you love them. If you don't, this is not going to work, obviously, because you don't love them. Some of you literally crossing seas, also continent to continent. So there's that gap of sea, right? The ocean. So I gotta say, If it's long distance, it might work, but not to have children yet until you're closer. So one decides to move closer to Europe or something, or Europe to somewhere else, vice versa. I see kind of also this could indicate like Asia, Europe, Europe, Asia, right? But some of you were trying to think of your partner in North America or South America. You know what I'm saying? So think about it. But it feels mostly Europe, Central and Eastern Europe. Small percent Western Europe, small percent Western Europe. Okay, so like 5-10% max. After the summer, you're going to have to make some careful, thought out decisions. It's not going to go as fast as you plan or think. Some of you also going to spend time on an island. Okay. I would really think things through methodically, carefully think things out, who you hang out with, who you spend around. 2023 is the year of the rabbit. This is all about reflection. It's not about action. It's not about action. This is the year that said, oh, you have a plan to make? Nope. You're going to wait. Next year, the dragon is when you make plans, when you take action, and the luck, abundance, success begins for most, especially those compatible with that sign. So I would not worry about this downtime. Don't stress about money. Honestly, it's going to continue flowing abundantly for you. It's like it's not a worry. It's not a fear. It's not a priority for you this year. It's going to work great in your favor. Just keep in mind that this is more about love, relationship, and then career or any of that other nonsense that we deal with every day. Okay. So this is what I feel, honestly, from pile 1, and that's pretty much all I see. So thank you very much. And sorry, little spider bug. Okay. None of y'all better crawl on me while I do this, okay? No, I'm not going to be putting up with that nonsense today. Not today, okay? Not today. There was even an ant that crawled before this video began. Okay, so here is pile 2 of the tarot reading. Okay, so again, TonyBomboni.com if you want to book your own reading. Honestly, I never thought of this. I know I said I might begin doing flower readings. But if you just book a custom ASMR and request a flower reading, that can work. Hey, for now, for the time being, until I make up my mind. I just have to make up my mind whether to add a flower reading service. That might be a bit more challenging during the winter months, but yeah, I'll figure it out. I'm sure I can pick a bunch of flowers and have them dried in a jar well ahead of time, but then they're going to start looking more like herbs, so I don't know. Will it work if I put them in a jar of water? But then I need a lot of jars to preserve. Oh, Lord have mercy. All right, we'll think about it. Card 2, pile 2, card 2. Let's do this reading for what's going on. Let's tap in and connect. Divine guided messages or frequencies to see what's going on, what you need to know during this time. Sorry, pick a pile. Reading number 2. Let's tap in and connect these messages. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's begin. Piece of flower got all the way there. Wow. A lot of cups energies. Even cards that are not cup cards, they're like raising, it looks like they're raising something like a glass or just lifting something up in the air. There's always someone, in every card actually, there's someone holding something, which is common in tarot to portray as symbolism, but that's what connects first. The hands, the lifting up, it's like praise, the ultimate elevation, the ultimate raise. And this could indicate a raise. Honestly, this could indicate praise from someone. This could indicate someone ultimately coming to you and saying, you're right, I was wrong. But there are some steps to get there before this can unfold itself before your very eyes. You see, there's a thing called the ego, and that is what prevents people from saying, you're right, I'm wrong. So you're not going to get that acknowledgement as you're looking for. Some people are too proud that they don't ever tell you. Let this go. It's time to let this one go. It's those same people who don't even know there's such thing as an ego. They're the ones who are like this. Because they can't look within and see, that's that ego. They don't know for better. No fault of their own. Everyone's on a different level on their journey. Give them some time to figure it out. You didn't know this stuff when you were 5. Give them time. Treat them like they're 5. Meaning, not like demeaning them or like they're a child, but that they need time to process what damage they've done and to apologize properly to you because what they did was wrong. But honestly, a lot of you, at least half of you, you're never going to get a sorry. You're never going to see them utter those words out of their lips. And if they do, they don't mean it. But they'll come to mean it. 20% of you, they'll truly say it quick and they'll mean it. But for the rest, 80%, never going to hear it. They're going to take their time, or they'll kind of mutter it under their breath just to say it, just so, you don't plot like revenge against them or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, some people are just so scared. And those same people who don't know what ego is are like full of fear. Not everyone who's full of fear doesn't know it. That's not what I'm saying. But this is like your reward for them to say, I'm sorry. It hurts though. I don't even like a sorry. Like, I don't even accept apologies usually nowadays if they really did me dirty. You know why? Because it's not enough. A sorry won't cut it. It won't remove the pain. It will actually give more pain. Sometimes it makes me feel very sad when someone tells me I'm sorry. Like, it makes me feel like, no, I'm sorry for you, honey. I'm sorry for you, sugar. Like, I'm sorry that you have to always hurt people. So you don't have to, by any means, accept they're sorry. But it will be a gift. It'll be the only reward they can give you because they don't know for better. They like to play games, mind games. Be careful around this energies. Promise you one thing, never fulfill. Those kind of people that don't say what they mean what they say, stay away. Always wanting to say, here you go, I'll give you this. Never mind, I'm going to give you this instead. Nah, we're not 15 anymore. Let's stop playing mind games. No more. We're not having that in our energy anymore. So consider what's a healthy environment for you. If you need to move out of someone's house, move out. And there's no communication anymore. I feel like some of you got involved with the partner you live, and then it's cutting ties now. You were roommates that maybe got together and had a love affair, and then it's time to cut ties. Like it's already happened. Okay? I'm not talking future, I'm talking present right now. This already happened. It's hard. My heart weighs down a little bit. For you, for this person, for both of you. Because this could have worked out, but they were so immature. Again, not childish, immature, which indicates they're not evolved enough yet. They don't get it yet. They don't get how this life works yet. No fault of their own. No fault of their own. Again, do not fault anyone. Do not even fault yourself, honey, okay? Because you're only doing yourself more injustice and damages. Sometimes, I'm going to say it, we give ourselves trauma. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it, and what you going to do about it? We do, sometimes. We self-inflict, sometimes. Emphasis on the sometimes. And that's the inner work that makes us realize we did it to ourselves, and only ourselves. You thought you could have had something more. This is a person you dearly miss. I think you want to just reach out to them, email them, text them. There's subtle ways and cues you want to reach out. It's not like direct phone call. It's maybe like, this might sound wild. Hear me out. I'm not saying you should do this. I'm not saying you did this. Hear me out though. This is just an example, just an analogy. You knew they liked flowers, so you threw flowers at on their front door or at their garage. Does that make sense? Like subtle cues, like, oh, that's odd. They look at that, they're like, who did this? But they know. That's like a subtle cue. Again, don't do that. I'm not saying do that. I'm saying an example. I can't think of a better example. What's a subtle way? Liking their Facebook post, but not commenting. Does that make sense? Like, hey, I'm trying to contact you, but not really, and you might not see this anyway because your posts get hundreds of likes. Does that make sense? Subtle. Indirect, because again, a lot of fear is involved. So I would say it's okay in this instance to bring them in your friend group. So if they're a friend, for some reason this is okay and non-toxic. Or like to converse with your friends about them is okay too. But what's not okay is back to lovers. That's the toxic part. You can be okay as friendships, but lover is a no-go. Do not pass go and collect 200. Okay. Give me one moment, poopsies. It's a really hot day, guys. It's only June, July. 1st of July, 2nd of July. No, oh my God, it's 3rd of July. See, time is going too fast. How are we going to make it through all summer? And my air's running and I can feel the boiling outside. Like, you just know. It's so hot. Your air could be on all day. It's still hot. Like, it's still hot. It's also because I'm doing these readings. I'm like a generator with energy. When I do readings, channeling, my body is like, oh, it's like I'm on menopause or something. I can imagine that that's what that feels like. My chest gets all red and, the blood flow. Again, I'm not saying you should walk away. There's a lot of attached feelings involved. There's a lot of, this can apply to some people who picked pile 1, the flowers, But also, because I see a lot of the same similarities here. It's very lovey. It's very strings attached energy. you deeply yearn for, like, you may not even have spoken to them for 2 years, 5 years, but there's still attached string. There's something there in this. It's almost like they're karmic. You know those friends and lovers and people in your life in general, family, who are there and stick around for years? Yeah, that's karmic. That's soul. That's your soul already knew you'd be coming down to this planet and meeting these people. If it's a few days and weeks, months even, you don't know. If it goes on for years, honey, that's soul. So I'm not saying you should cut this person off, because sometimes they're a part of karma. I used to be a firm believer, cut them off even if you don't know them very well. Cut them off before it hurts. Cut them off before it's too late. Cut them off, cut them off, cut them off. I'm not like that anymore. It's a very lonely world when you start snipping everyone away. It's not really fun, actually. It's a never-ending cycle. I did do a lot of apologizing to a lot of people in my past recently. They've come back. That's not the way. No, that's not the enlightened way. That's not the way I know anymore, at least. So I'm not gonna spew like cut them off. That never doesn't really sit right with me anymore. I almost empathize with people in a deeply emotional way when I think about like people who have connections with people they really mean a lot to, and things always seem to have appeared toxic or seem to went south. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about that. Because everything I say will contradict itself. Because everything does. Life is contradiction. One person will say do this, another will say do that. You don't know what the hell you want to do anyway. So just go with what feels right in the moment. And wait. Don't just act impulsively on what feels right. Just wait. And if the feeling still feels right, then do it. That's the way. But there's no right or wrong way, just know that. So whatever decision you make, get ready to deal with either the consequence of that or the peace that comes with that decision. Friendship is going to be important here. So I think if they were lovers, cut them off as lovers, make them friends. If they don't want to be friends, cut them off. Then that's appropriate. If they were lovers and toxic, you cut them off and make them friends, and they're still toxic, cut them off. That's appropriate. But you do what you want to do. If you want to be lovers, they're toxic, and you cut them off totally and not even bother being friends or talking to them ever again, then cut them off, because that's what feels right. There's no right or wrong here. You are the internal cue. You cue yourself to do the right thing for you. Because that's all you're going to end up doing it for anyway. For you. And for them. I think that's true love. When you love someone, sometimes you have to cut them off. Out of love. Like, hey, I see this where it's ending up, where we're going to end up circling a drain. It's not going to go anywhere. So I'm going to cut you off because I love you. It hurts me to do this, but I need to do this because I love you. And I want you to have a better future and not circle it with me. Because this is going circle, nowhere. And I'm going to love myself by cutting you off. So I don't keep surrounding myself with this draining energy. There's a lack of patience, though. It's like you cut them off and then you bring them back. Or you cut them off and they come back in your life and you don't want to cut them off. And then they cut you off and then now you want to come back in their life. Or they're going to come back after they cut you off. So that's the hardest relationship, connection, friendship to get rid of, is you blocking each other on and off, and it never goes anywhere. You just keep coming back, leaving each other's lives. for years. This is karmic. This is a karmic soul tie. And overall, I'm not saying that's not healthy. I'm just saying it's karmic. So maybe you guys have a lot of karma to work out from a past lives or lives. Deal with it as appropriate as you deem fit. Again, guess what? No pressure, because there's no right or wrong. So many people fear the future, fear the unknown, and what if I mess up? And again, if you see the red flags that you're going to circle the drain and drown with them, please be my guest, cut them off permanently. But if you're never sure and this feels like something, like maybe you need to work out your karma, forgive each other more, love more, laugh more, play more, experiment with life. It's not your time to go yet. You still got work to do, honey. I'm supporting you, but I gotta say, this is very, very much like strongly attached. It's like, this is why there's no right answer, because you two are attached. One may be playing mind games with you, but you love them more. I always have this feeling like maybe you love them more than they love you. Again, that could mean friend, that could mean lover. You can love your friends, but you don't want to be with them sexually, right? Like, obviously. So sit, meditate, reflect, analyze, look within. As long as you can do that work, you always have the upper hand over this person who's either playing games with you or not sure. Maybe it seems like they're playing games with you because they are not sure of your both karma. There's a veil over this planet. We're not sure who we are involved with in our past. Some of you watching my videos could have had a past with me. You never know. You never know. We met for some reason through these videos. No? Or we cross paths, or I keep thinking of flowers, I guess, because it's the flowers here, but you worked at a flower shop and I visited your store in the past, or I don't know. I worked at a flower shop, you visited me, right? Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? Life is so intricate and complicated and complex, and this web of everythingness that we that's even the surface level of what I'm talking. There's no words to describe what I'm saying. Deeper, really. So however it portrays to you, but I do see that nervous, anxious energy, like maybe your stomach's growling and you have to use the bathroom because I'm talking about this sensitive subject, and you want to reach out now to this person, but should you or should you not? I'm not here to tell you what to do, but if you do really feel like it and you love them so deeply and you feel like you did them wrong, reach out. Life is short. You're just going to work your karma faster, right? Wouldn't you just want to rip the Band-Aid and get it done? I would. Anyway, because you'll eventually come to a boiling point where you know when to either permanently cut this person off or keep them in your life. So wouldn't you want to get there faster? This is why I don't agree that cutting them off permanently is the answer, because especially once you still have that deep regret, you're looking back, it's still deep attachment, then there's unfinished business and there's more work to do. Pile 3, the candle bowl. It's the first time I'm featuring the glass bowl. Thank you, Mama Bomboni, for gifting this to me. So we're going to do a very first, well, I don't want to say purpose because it's not the first time I'm using a glass bowl, obviously, but like this glass bowl specifically for candle reading. So again, TonyBomboni.com, links below if you'd like to book yourself a tarot reading or candle reading. Let's begin. Or any other reading. So I'm going to make a really loud, clacky, clicky noise until I light this stuff up. Oh my God. There's a lot you're looking forward to doing, I feel. This almost reminds me of like kids' toys. I see kind of like a rattle, like something you shake and it goes, and I see a bunch of other toys, like little, like, I don't know, like flying creatures and like little stuff. So this feels very much like childish energy. I mean that in a loving way, of course, like, you know, maybe you have children and you just had a child or something like that. You're decorating the baby crib, the room, everything, even the color. Oh my God, I picked like baby blue, right? So Yeah, it has like a very clear pastely color that indicates to me either like an angel or a light spirit energy slash entity, or like a loving one, of course. When I say entity, that doesn't mean like people think entity is like, oh my god, like a poltergeist. No. It just means like energy that we cannot describe with human eyes. But or like a child, like a kid, like, you know, very young, innocent energy this portrays to me. Oh, but someone's heart is broken. I see a heart that's like split like a lightning bolt in the down the middle, and I see a cat. I don't know, maybe someone passed away, a cat recently, perhaps. Someone pinching like salt, like someone throwing salt. That to me indicates kind of like healing, protection. Like I think this is angel energies. They've been coming through a lot lately. That's like this animal symbolism, like almost like that passed on cat or animal creature in your life, or someone you know who had that passed on. It might have been heartbreaking for them, but they're actually watching over you. Because sometimes we don't even know or realize the bigger scheme of things, but like your auntie or your best friend's cat could be the one guarding you over in the heavens above, the higher dimensional planes. And you're like, whoa. No wonder I always felt kind of like drawn to them or connected, or like they really loved me or something like that. It could be literally anyone, like a cousin, a brother. Like it could be your best friend's brother. You don't even know why you're so drawn to them. You look at them in the eyes and you're like, I know you. I saw someone in the store the other day. I'm like, I know you. I've seen you. I don't know them, but I know them. And they saw me, and like we connected for a moment, like without even speaking. We knew. We knew. When you see someone in public, a stranger, that they keep looking at you, you keep looking at them, there's something there. But it doesn't mean you were assigned to meet in this life. It just means you knew each other before. And that spirit sending you that to go in that store at that same time they went, and were drawn to go to that store at that same time. Just to be like, hey, there was something once here between you two. Okay? So realize the bigger picture. So your child could be someone that watches over you in the next life. Or you might be responsible for watching over them. So the angels are already letting you know this. And as we evolve, we go from a blade of grass. I've seen myself as the blade of grass once, being eaten by a hedgehog. In the past, I saw myself as a storm on Neptune. You have to be gas, air, physical density. You have to be an animal, okay? Before you incarnate as a human, and then after human, you go angelic energies. So you go to the angels, you become an angel. So I think a lot of you are next in line to be an angel, or you already are. You don't realize it though. Sometimes angelic energies come back and lower their vibration to be a human again, to bring more of this light. You notice how uplifting everything feels nowadays? People seem happier, people seem more bubbly, laughter, playful, smiling at each other randomly. They don't even know why. I feel it lately, at least. There's just a good vibe. Maybe because it's spring, summer, or it was spring, now it's summer, obviously. But it just seems like that. I don't know. I think definitely a lot of the children coming and incarnating now or reincarnating are of the light. So there is so much of that light now flooding in that we can't help but elevate with it along with it. So but a lot of angelics are coming back and back and back. So they're cycling through to kind of like, imagine you wash a load of laundry and it's filthy, it's dirty, it looks like a muddy pig. And you throw some salt in that laundry bin, close it, put in the detergent, the softener, and you washed it through the cycle for an hour, but you open the lid and it still smells. It's clean now, but it still smells. So you do it again. This is what the angels are doing. They're coming back, cycling through again and again until we are cleansed, purified. And this is why, unfortunately, even light beings have to pass early, and a lot of them do. A lot of the angelics, I'm sorry to say, die early in life. Not everyone, not always, but because they're so high vibration, this world is too heavy and dark for them. And it's like they can't stay too long. So they need to cycle again and again and again. And a lot of times people misunderstand them. And so they pass on early because, unfortunate circumstances, there's someone very dark in their vibration, which they tend to attract because they're the light. And they end up in unfortunate circumstances with that person and they pass on, right? So that can occur a lot. So if you are one of these energies, you may not even be aware, but I would say don't worry about it. So if this animal passed away early, it's probably an angelic. If you just had a child and unfortunately, or you hear about someone that just had a child and they passed on early, or they didn't make it through birth, God forbid, don't worry, because they're going to come back in some way again anyway. Through an animal, maybe not through an animal, because you can't really go back from human to animal. It's usually animal to human. So maybe the animal will come back as human. So you see the complicated web of everything. So this is what I'm getting at here. So this is what I'm sensing here, vibrationally speaking. So this feels like a very much collective energy, like something beyond, something super spiritual, unlike the first two piles I picked, the tarot and the flower reading. I see clouds. So some of them, yeah, literally like higher vibration in the clouds, watching over. Some are going to come back soon. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Sometimes they're assigned only to be there for a certain time for part of a soul lesson. Again, karma. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. There's a higher reason for everything. So understand, don't let your heart be broken and stay that way. Fill your heart in this void with love, because you know that they're going to come back in some way. You're going to see them again. And just the fact that this message comes through in this time, people, the most common comments I get for these predictions readings, Tony, oh my God, this came at the right time. This came just at the perfect time. How did you know I just had a baby? How did you know I just got a cat or something crazy? I don't know, but this is what shows up. But I think, and I'm compelled to say that because this came at the right time for you. This time I mean it. This is here for you because this is the message. This wouldn't come through if this wasn't the message. Okay? So I also notice how slowly this candle is dripping. Like, I should be done by now. This candle is so slow. And I feel like it's methodical. I feel like it's careful and it's quality. It's dripping some quality wax. It's not a rush job. So in whatever you're doing, I feel like that's exactly who you are right now. No, I'm not going to write that book in 6 months. Let's say I'll take 6 years to write it. Example, not literal. All right. Maybe a better example would be 1 month versus 6 months. Okay. You're not rushing it. What else? You have some high vibe people around you, good quality souls. I see a lot of love here. This feels like ancient love. Like, this goes lifetimes ago. There's always someone trying to come back in your life from your past. Honestly, you're indifferent. If you're so high vibe, you don't care whether they reach out, whether they don't, whether you talk to them, whether they talk to you first. I think you let go of a lot at this point, and you're just looking to just not even move on, but just be. I think a lot of times when people say they would just want to move on, what they're really trying to say is, I just want to be free to do what I want. And it's not that, okay, here's the thing. I don't think, people don't fear others coming back who are not so nice or pleasant. People fear their reaction to that not so nice pleasantness. So yes, if you're high vibes, day in, day out, you don't necessarily want to hang around energies who are always insulting you, for example. It's not that you're not a brave soul, it's just you've been there to know that's not what you want to surround yourself with anymore. You come to a point in life where you grow enough and you realize, I'm not going to repeat that same mistake again. I'm not going to go down there and play that game with them, play that pattern over and over again. Again, a lot of what I've been talking about. So a lot of these messages interlink and connect with one another. So yeah, a lot of you could have picked all three piles. I don't blame you. But at least you're going to get different messages every time, right? Some of you are planning to buy something new. It's time. It's been a long time. And it kind of is like interlinking with everything else you do in your life. So it's going to be a good investment for you, a good quality purchase. Some of you, don't be afraid to reach out, branch out to more opportunities, avenues, things you haven't done yet. Do them while you still can. What else? Some of you's health is changing. Some for the better, some for the worse, because the worse is going to show you the better. Stop eating that. Stop drinking that. Stop smoking that. Inhaling that. That's spirit protecting you, saying, hey, knock it off. Do this instead. No, that's not good for your kidneys and your heart. Do this instead. Some of you have been having very vivid dreams, inexplicable realities coming through. I don't know, I just wanted to point it out. Sometimes there's no advice or nothing to say. I just want to say it like, hey, here's a prediction, you know? Whatever draws you in, because obviously I'm reading into many people, as I always say, with these readings that are public. That's what the custom readings are for. If you want more personal readings, TonyBomboni.com. But yes, overall, this feels like good. This is probably the best vibe reading. The angels are always with you. Don't forget your connection to them. And some of you are your own angel. Does that make sense? You are your own help and guidance. I think personally we all are. At this point in life, I think we all are to an extent. Our own guidance. But we still need backup from the astral, the ethereal, the cosmic, supernatural energies. Also, don't fear a certain health thing. It's nothing, don't worry. This is your reassurance, not to fear it. If you do, it's not a pretty path, and you only enter darkness. Just try to let it go. The more you obsess, the more you have this issue. That's the lesson that's valuable there. I don't know why I want to do this, but this is intuitive. Some of you are going to build something together. This takes community, leadership. In the literal sense, getting piles of wood and starting. Start that project. Go for it. Thank you so much. 20% off, 22 if you sign up for my newsletter on TonyBomboni.com, or you've booked my services once before. To go, use that coupon code Tony2 for 20% off any of my services for live. I hope this helped you give the guidance insight you're looking for. Best wishes in your journey up ahead, my dear, loving, oopsie, angel subscribers. I hope you enjoyed your candle, flower, and tarot reading. Pick a pile, messages for this. Pick a pile, pick a flower, pick a tarot, pick a candle, ASMR video. Take care. God bless, love, and light. Bye-bye.